Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, scholars and dignitaries, welcome to another episode. Welcome to my world.
Hello, friends. So, I'm sure that many of you are as confused about the war in the Ukraine, the war between Russia and the Ukraine, as I am. I don't know what or how the war started, or what the actual tensions are, or why the diplomats aren't at the negotiating table every minute of every hour of every day trying to reach a compromise for peace. What I do know is that this cannot continue. Countless people are dying, and an actual country is being destroyed bit by bit over something that could most probably be settled within a day with good conflict resolution specialists. Anyway, although they've been criticized, China has actually come out with a document that could guide the conflict into a time of peace. I found this ironic, as China is often thought of as a hostile player on the global scene. I mean, so many people have said that there are tensions with China and that they don't trust China, and yet here, China has put forth a plan that actually looks sound and doable and can bring us even closer to peace. So I copied the document and want to share it with you, and again, the entire document is listed in the description below so that you can better view it. Now, I guarantee you that 99.9% of people have never even heard of this, much less seen it, but to me it remains a working document with achievable goals and should not be dismissed, but at least given a reasonable chance. You see, I'll let you in on a little secret. In the geopolitical paradigm, China is very close to Russia and the Ukraine, and the last thing they want is to be drawn into another world war. You see, China has as much to lose as any other country, if not more so, and they realize this, so are on the forefront in trying to influence for peace. I just wish the other countries were as interested in peace as China. Here is China's position on the peace settlement for the Ukraine crisis. 1. Respecting the sovereignty of all countries. Universally recognized international law, including the purposes and principles of the United Nations Charter, must be strictly observed. The sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of all countries must be effectively upheld. All countries, big or small, strong or weak, rich or poor, are equal members of the international community. All parties should jointly uphold the basic norms governing international relations and defend international fairness and justice. Equal and uniform application of international law should be promoted, while double standards must be rejected. 2. Abandoning the Cold War mentality. The security of a country should not be pursued at the expense of others. The security of a region should not be achieved by strengthening or expanding military blocs. The legitimate security interests and concerns of all countries must be taken seriously and addressed properly. There is no simple solution to a complex issue. 3. Ceasing hostilities. Conflict and war benefit no one. All parties must stay rational and exercise restraint, avoid flaming the flames and aggravating tensions, and prevent the crisis from deteriorating further or even spiraling out of control. All parties should support Russia and Ukraine in working in the same direction and resuming direct dialogue as quickly as possible so as to gradually de-escalate the situation and ultimately reach a comprehensive ceasefire. 4. Resuming peace talks. Dialogue and negotiation are the only viable solution to the Ukraine crisis. All efforts conducive to the peaceful settlement of the crisis must be encouraged and supported. 5. Resolving the humanitarian crisis. All measures conducive to easing the humanitarian crisis must be encouraged and supported. Humanitarian operations should follow the principles of neutrality and impartiality, and humanitarian issues should not be politicized. The safety of civilians must be effectively protected, and humanitarian corridors should be set up for the evacuation of civilians from conflict zones. 6. Protecting civilians and prisoners of war, POWs. Parties to the conflict should strictly abide by international humanitarian law, avoid attacking civilians or civilian facilities, protect women, children, and other victims of the conflict, and respect the basic rights of POWs. Seventh, keeping nuclear power plants safe. China opposes armed attacks against nuclear power plants or other peaceful nuclear facilities and calls on all parties to comply with international law, including the Convention on Nuclear Safety, and resolutely avoid man-made nuclear accidents. China supports the International Atomic Energy Agency in playing a constructive role in promoting the safety and security of peaceful nuclear facilities. Eighth, reducing strategic risks. Nuclear weapons must not be used, and nuclear wars must not be fought. The threat or use of nuclear weapons should be opposed. Nuclear proliferation must be prevented and nuclear crisis avoided. China opposes the research, development, and use of chemical and biological weapons by any country under any circumstances. Ninth, facilitating grain exports. All parties need to implement the Black Sea Grain Initiative signed by Russia, Turkey, Ukraine, and the UN fully and effectively in a balanced manner and support the UN in playing an important role in this regard. 10th, stopping unilateral sanctions. Unilateral sanctions and maximum pressure cannot solve the issue. They can only create new problems. China opposes unilateral sanctions unauthorized by the UN Security Council. 11th, keeping industrial and supply chains stable. All parties should earnestly maintain the existing world economic system and oppose using the world economy as a tool or weapon for political purposes. Joint efforts are needed to mitigate the spillovers of the crisis and prevent it from disrupting international cooperation in energy, finance, food trade, and transportation and undermining the global economic recovery. And 12th, promoting post-conflict reconstruction. The international community needs to take measures to support post-conflict reconstruction in conflict zones. China stands ready to provide assistance and play a constructive role in this endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, there are few issues that affect humanity more than war, and to say it honestly, China has presented a paradigm for acceptable peace in Eurasia. I only hope that all countries will listen. Hey, be safe, be well, and let's pray for world peace. And may God bless you and your family.